Air Brazilian Chamber TV is on the air with the mission of increase the cultural, economic and touristic exchange between Arabs and Brazilians. The 14th edition of Expodireto Cotrijal, the agribusiness fair held in the city of Nomitoque, state of Rio Grande do Sul, focused on the search for international business. This year, the fair received over 220,000 visitors and its sales volume exceeded the mark of 2.5 billion reais.
A Expodireto Cotrijal, na sua 14ª edição,
the 14th edition of Expodireto Cotrijal consolidated the idea of an international fair, which began as a challenge issued by our president, Ney Cesar Armânica. Through the corporate missions that were led by Cotrijal, we began visiting various countries abroad, and in these visits, we began inviting them to visit the city of Nomitoque and see the Expodireto Cotrijal fair. Today, we have 74 countries represented at the current edition of the fair, with more than 135 Brazilian importers participating.
We are from a Tunisian company, and we are here in order to search for new suppliers, new producers, in order to develop our activities in Tunisia. Because we are specialized in agriculture machines, accessories, implements, and we are here for the first time in this exhibition in order to see for new opportunities in order to develop our product and our activity especially.
A importância da cooperativa da Cotrijal é muito grande.
The Cotrijal cooperative is very important because it promotes the interaction between the world of agricultural machines and client buyers from all over the world. So this is why Cotrijal is so important in organizing this fair, which is an international fair, which brings many buyers to Brazil from abroad.
Fora para cá para o Brasil.
A Feira Expodireto é uma feira que ela tem uma
The Expodireto Fair is a very important fair because it is one that focuses on business. And here we can showcase what we have in terms of excellence with regard to technology and in terms of how we can show the world that agriculture in the state of Rio Grande do Sul is state of the art.
de ponta, né?
We are a company that is following commodities, as we are a part of a group of companies and in different businesses, and as a company who at risk of commodities, we have to follow country by country, the production, the world production, and in these few years, Brazil is becoming one of the big players. So we cannot be a part of following this country, and that's why we are here. I am here physically, but it is not the first step. Perhaps it's the last step. But we are interested in commodities, rice, chicken, partnership with Brazilian. So this is all about what we have. But Brazil is becoming one of the big players, and it is very interesting to make partnership with Brazilian companies.
The consolidation of Cotrijal and other international fairs held in Brazil shows the power of Brazilian agribusiness and its importance for the international markets.
Todo mundo está procurando sua segurança alimentar e eu acho que o mundo árabe.
Everyone is looking to guarantee their food supply, and I think the Arab world can find that Brazil can be a significant and fundamental partner, and Brazil can find the Arab world to be an equally reliable partner, as it has found in the last 10 years, having tripled this trade balance, especially in the food sector.
Totalmente no sector alimentar.
nós temos, acho que mútuo interesse entre.
There is mutual interest between the countries of the Arab world and the Expodireto Cotrijal regarding the Brazilian agribusiness products found here, such as meat, for example, especially chicken, which is a much sought-after product. We even went on a mission to the United Arab Emirates last November, where we were able to make various contacts with countries from the Arab world, and were able to invite them to participate in this fair with us.
Da feira.
O mundo árabe, na nossa visão, é mundo.
The Arab world, in our minds, is a world that is undersupplied in terms of machinery, and is one of the great areas of arable land in the world. The Arab world has a very strong non-commercial exploration, represented by 22 countries that can supply a large part of the food required in the world in the next few years. So we see a very solid market for the next few years, due to the political stability of these countries, and that is why we see the Arab world as a great opportunity for future business.
O mundo árabe como uma grande oportunidade de negócio futuro.
A Marquesan exporta para mais de 60 países.
Marquesan exports to over 60 countries, and the Arab world is very important for us, so much in fact that we have just become a member of the Arab Brazilian Chamber, which will provide us with an even greater opening to this market, in which Marquesan does not yet have great participation or influence. And now, having become a member of the Arab Brazilian Chamber, we can better visualize this market and be more present in this market, which is very important for us in order to be able to expand our business and spread our technology so they can increase their production, reduce the cost of the products they produce, and show all of the technology we have to help them improve the area they use to produce and make them self-sufficient in terms of food production.
E mostrar toda a inovação tecnológica que a gente tem para poder melhorar a área com que eles produzem, que se torne autossuficiente em produção de alimentos.
We listen in every time and by internet about Brazil that there is supply, there is many factories in agriculture machines that could be good opportunities for us because we have the relation with the Chinese companies, with the Turkish companies, European companies, and why not with the American companies, and especially for Brazil. And we have, I think, a good field with the Brazilian Chamber and Arabian Brazilian Chamber of Commerce in order to help us in this way.
The different background of the Brazilian population, with numerous descendants from Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, created a population with all color shades. The cosmetic industry benefits from this melting pot because it creates demand for various types of products. Venancio, how is the Brazilian market for cosmetics?
Hello, Lucila. According to the Brazilian Association of the Cosmetic, Toiletry and Fragrance Industry, ABPEC, there are in Brazil 2,329 companies operating in the market of cosmetics. Among those, 20 are large companies with net revenues of above $50 million, representing 73% of the total sector revenue. Products of the sector are distributed through three main channels: wholesale retail stores, franchising specialized stores, and home sales.
Worldwide speaking, how is Brazil ranked in the cosmetics sector?
Even though Brazil has the fifth largest world population, in relation to the world market of cosmetics, Brazil ranks third according to a research done by the Euromonitor in 2011. As a matter of fact, we rank first for perfumes and deodorants, second in haircare products, oral hygiene products, men and children products and sunscreen, third in cosmetic products and hair dye, fourth in depilatory products, and fifth in skin products.
What type of cosmetics does Brazil import from the world, and what countries supply these products to Brazil?
Brazilian imports of cosmetics summed an amount of $762 million in 2012, an increase of almost 15% over the previous year. The main supplier for cosmetics to Brazil are Argentina, France, United States, Mexico, and Germany. Personal deodorants, perfumes, makeup, skincare, oral dental are the main products imported by Brazil from the world in the sector.
Does Brazil already import cosmetics from the Arab countries?
Brazil imports a small amount in cosmetics from the Arab countries, around $130,000 in 2012.
Which are the cosmetics products and the Arab countries supplying to Brazil?
The only Arab suppliers for these products were United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. Brazil imports mainly perfumes and makeup from the Arabs. To find Brazilian business partners, please register your company at ccab.org.br.
Thank you, Venancio.
Thank you, Lucila.
I'm here with Nina Mazziotti from Renaissance São Paulo Hotel, who will speak about her trip to the Arab countries. Nina, which countries you have visited and what was the purpose of your trip?
Na realidade, eu fui para Emirados Árabes.
In reality, I visited the United Arab Emirates. I went to two cities, to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The goal was actually to conduct foreign relations. I traveled on business and to participate in a tourism fair in order to further develop the area of tourism between these countries and our destinations in Brazil, especially São Paulo, where we have the Renaissance São Paulo Hotel, and in Rio de Janeiro, where we have our hotel, the JW Marriott of Rio de Janeiro, located on Copacabana Beach.
Na praia de Copacabana.
Can you tell us about Arab hotel chains?
Olha, eu infelizmente não tive muita oportunidade.
Well, unfortunately, I did not have much experience in getting to know the Arab hotel chains there. Marriott has various hotels, so I had the experience of staying at the JW Marriott Marquis in Dubai, which has 1,600 rooms, and it's really interesting for its architecture, service, and modernity. But I did not have much experience with the chains there. What I can tell you is that we have services to welcome this public here at the Renaissance São Paulo Hotel. This is a public with a very interesting culture and that has a few particularities when it travels not only on business but for tourism as well. They seek, for example, during this vacation time between June, July and August. It is very hot in Dubai, very hot at that destination, so they usually travel as a family. This means they need to accommodate the entire family, and we at the Renaissance São Paulo Hotel always seek to have halal food upon request. We can also carry Arab channels and newspapers with specific news from those destinations, even signs indicating Mecca, since some of the courtiers have enough instructions concerning the traditions in Islamic religions and constant prayers. These are very important details for this culture.
Então são detalhes que são muito importantes para essa cultura.
Do you often receive Arab guests in Brazil? What are your expectations about it?
Eu acho que os países árabes.
I think the Arab countries, especially with the direct flights airline companies from Qatar, with Qatar Airlines leaving from Doha directly to São Paulo, with Emirates flying daily to São Paulo and to Rio de Janeiro. And I think Etihad Airways will begin flying out of Abu Dhabi starting in June, so I believe this demand will increase, and if the Arab-Brazilian Chamber can properly reinforce the trend, there can be even stronger commercial relations between those countries. With regard to tourism, with the World Cup next year in 2014 and the Olympics on the way, I think this will be a great incentive to continue encouraging this demand. These countries love soccer, and Brazil is a fantastic place for soccer. So I believe that this demand will really increase. And if we can combine forces between public and private bodies, if we can combine our initiatives and work these markets more efficiently, I believe this demand can really grow more and more for our country, not just for São Paulo, but the country as a whole.
Para o nosso país, né?
Com certeza.
Não só São Paulo, para o país como um todo.
Thank you very much.
Obrigada a você.
Today, Brazilian route stops in Trancoso, a small village on the southern coast of the state of Bahia. Considered one of the first locations where the Portuguese arrived in the year 1500, the current inhabitants of Trancoso originate from a Jesuit village founded in 1586. The village remained unknown on a national level until being rediscovered by hippies at the end of the 70s, and its main economic activity now consists of tourism, with its many international hotels and restaurants. Air Brazilian Chamber TV ends here. We'll see you on the next edition.